Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. Brand new roofs of all types and prices, just to meet your needs and just to meet your budget. They do a great job. Roof repair, also guttering work though. These guys do tons of new gutters. When it comes to roofs and gutters, get guaranteed work from the folks at Daniel Hood Roofing. You see Daniel on the show every week. He does a great job with his company. DanielHoodRoofing.com is where you can learn more about what they do with roofs, roof repairs, gutters. All right, this is our rapid fire segment. Jimmy, I'm going to put some graphics up here that you can see. That's what Hendon Hooker did yesterday. I swear I think his confidence continues to grow. He looks better and better. You see his season totals there as well. 21 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's going to be close to an all-time record at Tennessee in terms of TD to interception ratio. Yeah. He's going to break the school mark for completion percentage as well. Yeah. First of all, do you think he's back next year?
I do. I think he's going to come back. I don't think he would be projected to be drafted high enough to leave.
Mel Kiper has him in his top 10 quarterbacks, but I agree with you. I don't think that's going to be high enough for him to leave. Mm-hmm. Now, with him back, should Tennessee start a Heisman campaign next summer to promote him?
No. I like him a lot. I think he's a heck of a player. I'm going to wait at least 4 or 5 games so that he proves it or earns the right to be in the Heisman Trophy race. And we've seen Tennessee start campaigns for other people, and they typically flame out or get runner-up finishes. I would wait. I'd give him a month or so to see what he's doing, and then if I feel like he's good enough, I'd go in that direction. But I would not start out with a Heisman. I don't want him to be a target. That'd be a part of it, too.
Makes sense. I would do it for recruiting purposes. See how we're promoting Hendon Hooker? We could do that for you if you sign with us. All right, Chuck. Hendon Hooker is you look at what's on the team around him.
Right.
He is the most valuable, most important member of his team, Tennessee, since what former Vol?
Well, I tell you what, that gives you something to think about, John. You know, I go back and I thought.
That's the idea with the question.
Well, I mean, a lot to think. I thought about the quarterback play early in the season. I think about the depth at that position now, how it's changed. You're talking about breaking passing records. I see a quarterback who's decisive and accurate and can run. I think he's the most important at his position since Peyton Manning. I really do.
I figured you would say Josh Dobbs, and I was going to say, but he had Kamara and Hurd. With Peyton Manning, he had even more talent. I agree. The point is, we're talking a long way back and some pretty impressive guys. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I would almost think you have to go back to, if you're looking at one guy, meant so much to his team, and he didn't have tons around it, Reggie White, 1983. 100 tackles, 15 sacks, SEC Player of the Year. Name me another guy off the 83 Vols. Don't text me, guys. I know you're out there, but you know the point. Reggie got all the spotlight. I don't think Hendon Hooker's having that kind of year where you're talking about him in comparison with Dobbs, Manning, White.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive in terms of his value. Josh, true or false, the most important drive of that game was the final drive of the first half.
Final drive resulted in
the Vols' final drive.
Yeah, 3 points. Final score, 45-42. I would say yes for a couple of reasons. One, it just says something about Josh Heupel understanding. They got the ball in a good spot, about the 40-yard line, 39. It said we can run some quick plays. Let's see if we can take our shot, see if we can get a field goal. 5 seconds left. They ran one more play. Yeah. TV broadcast saying kick it now. I thought, no, you have a shot, go to the sideline. That's what Heupel did. It ends up being the difference. I thought it was a big mistake by Stoops to go for it on 4th down because I knew that if he missed it, Heupel was going to go for points. And Kentucky got the ball to begin the second half. It's a big swing. That middle part into the second, start of the third quarter matters. Tennessee took advantage of it.
Yeah, they did. And like you, I give credit to Heupel for just deciding to do it. But 3 plays, 35 yards in 16 seconds. And the play with 5 seconds, what's interesting, I thought, well, this is going to be tight. Hooker drops back, and he kind of double pumps. I mean, he does a pump there, and it's like, oh, well, the clock's going to run. It didn't start quickly, which, the SEC's controlling that clock. That's not – everybody thinks it's the hometown guy. I think that's still the SEC that comes in there and has their own guy.
Yes.
It didn't start that quickly because you still had 2 seconds at the end of that play. But still, great. I thought that – I agree with you. I think that was the most important drive of the game. Will – quick one, weird one for you, short one here. Okay. After the game last night, somebody caught video. About 10 Vols went out to midfield in the UK logo, and they're kind of jumping up and down on it. Then they all sit down on it, and they're getting pictures made. And you see one of the UT staff members go out there, and he's like, get your tail in here. And they all get up and start running to the locker room. would you ever dance on a logo?
If I could dance like Alontae Taylor, I might. But no, I mean, I wouldn't dance on Kentucky's logo. I think if it had been like 15 or 20 years since I beat Alabama and we beat them the first time, I might.
Dancing on logo? Yeah.
But that'd be the only case. Now, I don't think for the most part I'd do that. There are a lot of other ways that teams celebrate. I don't think you can take it too seriously one way or the other. It's not that big a deal. If you get too offended by that, you're going to get offended by a lot of other things said after the game about your team.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but I just wondered if you would ever dance on a logo.
If I could dance.
Daniel Hood would. Daniel Hood was saying earlier he wished he could dance on logos. All right, our VFLs, all of them are back, and when they're going to give their final thoughts on Tennessee's win at Kentucky. Then we're going to turn our eyes toward Tennessee versus the #1 team in the nation. Will the Vols be the first team to put 14 points on Georgia this year? We'll talk about that later. Come back on the Sports Source.